as far back as I care to remember.
Hey, good evening everybody, and welcome to the New Hampshire Sports Page coverage of high school football. Right here each and every week, live on the scene tonight. We come live from Eustace Field, Bill Ball Stadium in Exeter, where the defending Division I champs will take on the runner-ups from last year in Division II, the Dover Green Wave. Hey everybody, Pete Terrier along with John Kesty. We are ready for some football. Exeter, some of the key players from last year are back. They lose their entire offensive line, but many people think that Exeter, once again, one of the teams to beat here in Division I. For Dover, you look at the roster, only 31 kids on the roster this year, so their numbers are down. We'll see how Dover does. As I said, the runner-up last year lost to Bishop Curtin in the championship game, but they have a diminished roster this year, so we'll see how they're able to handle with the lack of depth. We'll be back a little bit later on. We'll have the highlights from this game. We'll have the post-game analysis, post-game interviews with some players and some coaches. Dover and Exeter kicking off the season right here on New Hampshire Sports Page.
Tomorrow who will win, cause they shoot for the stars and refuse to lose.
Can't nobody stop me. No way to stop me. Can't nobody stop me. Ain't no way to stop me. Can't nobody stop me. No way to stop me. Can't nobody stop me. Ain't no way to stop me.
As long as the checks stay ill and the records stay real, I'ma definitely never see how second place feel. Got the mind of a rhymer, conquer your roster. Squad full of monsters as hungry as a hostage. Yeah, I will never fear, cause I need to succeed. You can tell in my stare that I care. If I lose, I'm a winner, so I move with a vision. Never fool with the timid, rather learn, so I listen. Can't stop my mission. Too vicious for you who step into the trenches. Raw talent, never back down, bring the challenge. I'ma leave standing, laughing at your faces, cause y'all mad. But dirty looks will never shake this man. Full steam ahead for the cake, for the bread, till I'm fed. Go hard at them all and refuse to lose.
Can't nobody stop me. No way to stop me. Can't nobody stop me.
At the half, Exeter leading Dover 14-0, our season opening game here on NewHampshireSportsPage.com. Pete Terrier, along with John Kesty. Exeter got things going on the first time they touched the football. Galen Antolino, an 18-yard touchdown run. That came after an interception of Dover quarterback Derek Stegman. Matt Opachi is doing the kicking duties tonight. Logan Laurent is not playing. He has been sat down for this game, I'm told, by the Exeter coaching staff. And Opachi missed the first attempt he had at a point after kick, so it was 6-0 Exeter to start things off. Then really not much going on offensively for either team throughout the second quarter until about 3 minutes left to go, when Dover had a roughing the kicker penalty on a punt by Exeter's Ethan Joyce. That gave Exeter a first down, and then a few plays later, Tyler Grant, scintillating 51-yard touchdown run. You just saw it on the highlights. It was a handoff to James Vogt, reverse handoff to Tyler Grant, ripped it up the middle. 51 yards later, he was in the end zone for a touchdown. That made the score 12-6 Exeter, and Ethan Joyce ran in a 2-point conversion for the Blue Hawks, and it's 14-0 Exeter at the half.
Can't nobody stop me. No way to stop me. Can't nobody stop me. Ain't no way to stop me. Can't nobody stop me. No way to stop me. Can't nobody stop me. Ain't no way to stop me.
As long as the checks stay ill and the records stay real, I'ma definitely never see how second place feels. I'm a striver, I learned from my father to burn like lava. I am a survivor. The problem is that even as a kid I've been meaning to be the heir to the chair that the kings, and I vowed to myself that I wouldn't melt. I would rise to the top of the pile myself. Can't nobody stop my wealth, my dreams, or team up without my help. For sure it's better to chase ya. I base this on pure competitive nature, waiting for the day that we make plans to compete, win or lose, shake hands. These are the views of the dudes of tomorrow who will win.
Exeter wins at 42-7 against Dover, opening up the season as defending Division I champs in style on their home field. Beautiful night. It's still August, folks. It was About 85 degrees at kickoff time, temperature cooled down. We had some great football. Exeter really showing why they're the defending champs and showing why so many people think that Exeter is one of the teams to beat in Division I. Jumped out to a 28-0 lead, and Tyler Grant had a big year last year as a junior. This year a senior comes back, 3 touchdowns in this first game. Galen Antolino also a touchdown run. They used a bunch of different guys to carry the football. They actually got 2 late touchdown runs from Chris Kelly, but really the Tyler Grant show, over 150 yards on the ground, the 3 touchdowns. Exeter wins it big. Dover not much offensively. They did finally score a touchdown early in the fourth quarter, a 3-yard run by Colin Shaughnessy that made it 28-7. Then Exeter added on a couple of those touchdowns at the end, the touchdowns by Chris Kelly, to make it the 42-7 final score. After the game, we caught up with Coach Bill Ball, and here's what Coach Ball had to say to reporters after the game.
Dover had some opportunities.
I did. I thought we were aided by a couple of penalties early. There was a big first down they got. There was a holding penalty. They were driving 6-0. We were having a hard time getting things going. I thought they were, they were sticky in the off tackle hole. We were getting a little bit with the fullback game. And then towards the end of it, I thought halfway through the second period, we got things going. We hit the counter crisscross, and second half I thought we came off the ball a little bit better.
What did you see on the roughing the punter call? Because that really helped you guys out right after that. Grant went up for 51.
It's a huge call because they get the ball on the 45, and we get a first down, and Grant hits counter crisscross for 50, like you say. So that was a big call. It was a tough break. That game was a lot more competitive than I think the final score will end. I mean, I think we both at the end, emptied get our starters out of there, and for the rest of the way.
At some point, did you get a sense you were wearing them down?
I thought the third quarter we started to really get the off tackle game going, and if we can get that going, I think the rest follows. So that was good for us.
How do you think your brand new offensive line did?
Thank you, Bill.
Thanks, Al. Good seeing you.
You too.
I think they did fine. I mean, I know we had some problems in the first half. I'll know a lot better tomorrow when I watch the tape. So
that play that you talked about where Grant had the 51-yarder, you guys went back to that again in the third quarter, and it worked again.
Right. Yeah. That's it's a counter play against the flow, and it's been a good play for us over the years. And it's good against us.
What about you're turning the page, but you still went out there and played for the first time as defending champions. How was that?
Never mentioned it. I know that. All we talked about was getting ready for the first game. And we're certainly not going to mention it next week. All we're trying to get ready to do is play Pinkerton. So it's a new season. It's nobody, like I told, those seniors walked out of here last year with what they wanted, and the guys who were part of that have that. But it's you look back, it's hard to get if you look back, it's hard to go forward. When you're looking back, you can't go forward. So we don't look back. We're just going forward.
Thanks. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning on the radio.
Yeah,
Thank
7:20.
you. The Blue Hawks very impressive tonight, beating Dover 42-7 to open up their season, open up their title defense in Division I. Now, folks, this game does not count in the standings. It is a Division I, Division II crossover game, Dover being in Division II. Dover is a much different team than the Dover team that went to the D2 championship game last year and lost to Bishop Girton. They only had 31 kids on the roster. Exeter went out there with 87 players dressed for tonight's game, so much different in terms of depth, and you can see how that played a role late in the game. I don't think that the hot temperature to the start of the game was much of a factor. I think it was just too much Exeter. Exeter showed that they could reload instead of rebuilding off the championship last year when they lost so many guys, including their entire offensive line. I thought the offensive line that they had out there, a much younger unit, did a good job. Ethan Joyce, the quarterback, only threw the ball 2 times in the game. One of them was intercepted, his first pass of the game, and he also had an incomplete pass, but you don't need to throw the ball more than 2 times when you got a running attack like Exeter does. 3-headed monster, James Vogt, Tyler Grant, of course, and Galen Antolino, who had an 18-yard touchdown run early in the game that put Exeter on the board on their first drive. Defense looked good. They really limited what Dover could do offensively. Dover's lone touchdown came pretty much after Exeter had kind of called off the Dogs in the early fourth quarter. And bottom line, domination by Exeter tonight against their Seacoast rival. Gets a little bit tougher next week. That's an understatement. Exeter takes on Pinkerton That's a game in Derry that everybody's going to be looking forward to, and we'll have it covered for you right here on the New Hampshire Sports page. Once again, the final score, 42-7, Exeter beats Dover. I'm Pete Terrier for John Kesty. Have a good night, everybody.